Kirk and Kipe on the call, NBC Sports Bay Area. Casey Schmitt, unfortunately, while rounding first base, came up a little limp and had to leave the game, injuring his left knee. And we'll hear more about that today, hopefully. Nothing official yet, but it did not look good. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Spadoni at Shasky's The Morning Roast. We got Carter in the back. We got Sam in the back. And what ended up being a really good win against a very good Milwaukee Brewers team, Joe, kind of felt a little soured with this news of Casey Schmitt limping off the field, and it looked like he couldn't put any weight on that left knee. And we'll hear from the skipper after the game, Tony Vitello. According to reports, I know Pavlovich saying hopefully it's just a minor thing, but none of us will really know until they, get a good look at it in the MRI machine. But not good. Not good.
It's just this team in this year, it feels almost cursed.
Yeah.
You're, 1,000 games under 500. You're facing the Milwaukee Brewers. It's a random Monday night. You hit a duck fart over the first baseman's head and underneath right field, right down the line. You're going hard 90s, right, which is what you preach to all these guys at a lower level. But Casey's doing it at the professional level. I know they just had the All-Star break, but, if ever there was a time to kind of loaf it around the bases, you would think in the dog days as we get to late July, someone would, kind of ease up a little, but he's running hard. And that's why he's having the year that he's having. And he comes up and he tries to stop, and he's wearing the metal cleats, and you're going to wear the metal cleats. Like that's, I think it's 85% of guys wear metal cleats. The other 15 wear like the plastic, plastic molded cleats. And his leg looked like it just kind of like got stuck in the dirt. And as he tries to hit the brakes, and I don't know, maybe any other year he doesn't run as hard, or I have a hard time faulting him in any way, and I'm not faulting the equipment either.
Sure.
I'm just saying like what happened in that one, and as he's coming to put the brakes on, you just see the whole kind of side of the leg just kind of give out.
Just looked awkward all the way around.
I thought Achilles at first.
Yeah, no, it was definitely awkward when you saw it, and you see it in slow motion, and that looks extremely awkward, and they're calling it knee discomfort for right now. But again, Schmidt's supposed to get an MRI today to determine the extent of the injury.
We have this saying at the lower level, for the youth and the high school and even college and obviously in the minors, hard 90s. And what that means is like run hard because it's 90 feet between home and first and second, et cetera. And you want to run hard because you put pressure on a defense. On a simple ground ball to shortstop, if you're running hard, maybe you rush that shortstop into an errant field, an errant throw. Maybe you put pressure and the guy kind of eases up as he's coming into a routine ground ball thinking you're not going to run hard, and you put pressure on the defense and a mistake is made, and you have now generated an on-base opportunity because of hustle. And so, again, Casey's hustling on the play, and he gets injured. And look, you hope it's not worse. I mean, when I see the way that he walked off the field, the first thing my mind goes to is that an ACL? Is that a meniscus? And it sucks. I mean, it really sucks. And, you asked me a question before the show, like, does that change how you view the deadline and how you're going to approach the deadline? Yeah. Like, I didn't want to trade him.
No, I know you didn't want to. You've been staunch. Keep Casey Schmitt. But I hear from all the different people, the John Heymans of the world, the Bob Nightingales of the world. You guys talked to the former Cincinnati Reds GM Jim Bowden last week, and he was saying, and he's talking to a lot of teams, the first thing that usually comes up is Casey Schmitt for a lot of these teams. He's 27 right now, right? Team-friendly deal. Having a career year, and he can play all over the place, which, again, you could do that. You're going to fit in on every single team in Major League Baseball. And it sounds heartless when I say something like that, where it's like, man, the trade deadline's 6 days away now. We're less than a week away. How does that affect it? And I don't want them to trade him either, but this could throw a monkey wrench into the plans of Buster Posey and Manassian if they were thought that they can get some sort of a haul for him. It just sucks. And this is the only way the season can get worse for the Giants, right? Obviously, the record is what it is. They weren't going to be any sort of contenders. We've known that for months now. But this is the only way it can get worse. When you have significant injuries like they've had. Matt Chapman on line one, obviously, right? Trevor McDonald, right? Another guy.
Hayden Birdsong.
Randy
Rodriguez.
Ramos was out for
Jose Budo.
Boom, right there.
I mean, how many guys have now...
Logan Webb for a while, right?
Logan Webb, but how many guys have gotten injured and it's affected what could happen next year. Like that's the part that really you're hoping to avoid here is you don't want Casey Schmitt to have anything that's going to linger into the offseason and require surgery.
I mean, you're looking at a guy right now batting .270, 21 jacks, 55 RBIs, 784 OPS. He's been probably one of the best stories on this team, if not the best story, considering what he has meant for this team the last couple of years and hoping he could be a guy in a piece for the future. And now that could be up in the air for next year, obviously. And I don't want it to be an ACL. I don't want it to be a soft tissue. If anything, hopefully it's just a minor strain. He's out for a little bit. He can come back and finish this season. But the quote I keep coming back to, and we'll hear from Tony Vitello. I want to hear from the people and how they're feeling this morning, too, at 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text. Again, 888-957-9570. The quote from Vitello, though, probably going to miss some significant time.
Yeah, it's not a good quote.
No.
And, you know, you've got the Casey Schmitt situation last night. And then quietly, you know, Bryce Eldridge in his last 100 at-bats, he's got 40 strikeouts.
Yeah.
You know, he's batting 198, 2 for his last 23. So he's really in a funk right now. You cannot have a 40% strikeout clip. He's got to make some adjustments. I don't know what the answer is. I'd like to see him play a little more defensively in the field. Devers also jumped to a knee to field a ground ball to his right into the hole between first and second. Made a really nice play. And, you know, he's kind of limping off the field. It looked like he, landed on the knee. I don't think it's a significant injury, but, I mean, things are adding up.
Right, and that's another name to be, you know, aware of if you're a Giant fan this week. I heard John Heyman on MLB Network saying at least one team has checked in with the San Francisco Giants in regards to potentially trading for one Rafael Devers.
There's one team out there, huh?
Well, you know, we don't know who that team is, but someone has checked in. That makes me think maybe others potentially will as well. And 888-957-9570 is the number.
The other part of last night, and it's just... You came in here and you were kind of tongue-in-cheek, like, you know, Mally. I mean,
hold on. Sam was the one that said, hey, you know, he's increasing his trade value, Tyler Mally.
The hell?
He just did that to trigger you. I know he did.
Honestly, who wants Tyler Mally?
I mean, that was his best start of the season, though.
Great.
I mean, the Brewers are really good, and he shut them down, Joe. He did.
Dude, what
if you're ever going to have the best start of your season, a week before the trade deadline is the time to have
Put the plaque out in the arcade way, you know, put it on the floor. Let's do it. I mean, it's incredible. Hey, dude, Eric Miller, wow, great ninth inning. Joe, just do me a favor. Can we have a couple of good performances before we start losing our mind on anyone when it comes to this Giant staff?
Don't shoot the messenger, but in the month of July, he did only allow 3 earned runs or fewer the entire month. So per game.
Tyler Mally.
Right? So Tyler Mally, every game, he allowed only 3 earned runs or fewer. That's quality right there. That's quality. Well, I'm just saying, that's his best stretch of baseball all season. And the Giants are 2-2 in those games.
Have you watched these games?
Yes.
This guy is like...
Well, yesterday he was good.
Yeah, I know, but he's dying to get through 4.
No, he is. I mean, 6 innings pitched. Then prior to that, against the Royals in Kansas City, it was 5. Then against the Rockies, he did go 7. And then prior to that, in Colorado, only 4.
I'm not trying to take anything away. He was good yesterday. But, Hauser's been really good out of the bullpen, for example. And I'm hearing Tony, he's fighting and he's doing, I know what else is Tony going to say. But it's like, Hauser, Mally, guys, we brought you in to pitch decent. You've been atrocious for months on end. So when you're, decent for a couple of starts in July, you're doing what we wanted you to do. The day you've heard Chris Rock that, you don't get credit for paying child support. You're supposed to be in your child's life.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right? You don't get credit for that.
No, you definitely don't. By the way, Jeff Passan, ESPN, he's one of the big insiders over there when it comes to all things Major League Baseball, Joe. He said Giants fans should maybe temper their expectations if you think that they're going to get some sort of haul back for some of these players that they may be willing to trade, a la Luis Arraez, Robbie Wright. You've been on this, Joe, but I'm letting other people know that Jeff Passan is also reporting that don't get your hopes up was the quote.
Well, and I guess the number one thing is the goal of the trade deadline for me is not to get a haul.
What is the goal?
The goal is to shed salary and open up spots. and get rid of old, aging, expensive players and reallocate that money in the offseason to pitching and opportunities for younger players. That is the goal of the deadline for the Giants. And if your goal is to get a haul, you're going to be thoroughly unimpressed.
Well, I'm with you in that if they somehow shed one of these big salaries, a la an Adames, Chapman, or Devers, I do think it's a win.
I agree.
If you shed any one of those,
I totally agree.
This trade deadline is a win for me. Obviously, they're probably going to move on from Arise and Robbie Ray. They're probably not going to get a top 100 prospect back for either of those guys unless it's a package deal to one team for both of them. But even then, I'm not like, putting all my hopes and dreams on the one player, two players they get back in that regard. It's moving off one of those exorbitant salaries that are doing nothing for this team right now. I know, and I get it. Devers has been solid. He's been really good. He's been really good for this stretch of baseball that they've had the last month or so. That being said, when I saw that report from John Heyman, MLB Network yesterday, that one team has checked in on him, I was like, oh, can we somehow get off this contract?
Do you remember when the Niners...
I don't know if Giants fans want to move off the contract for Devers, but I know you and I do.
Well, look, I like Devers in terms of, what he brings to the table. But similar to the 49ers salary cap situation when they had two $30 million wide receivers, it's probably unsustainable to navigate Bryce's development as a defensive first baseman and then also adhere to the wishes of Rafael Devers to be in the lineup and in the field every single day at first base. Well, can we all acknowledge that? And I think it makes it a little more difficult. So like right now, you want to get certain guys into the lineup every day. It's difficult when that DH spot is locked in every day by Devers or Bryce.
Yeah.
And I also think it'd be good for Bryce to get more opportunities in the field as he's struggling at the plate right now. It is good to get your mind off of just hitting and play a little field. Like anybody who's been in a slump will tell you, psychologically, it can be a complete mind trap if you're just hitting.